we all experience our own world. And I love this because Mooji will always say, you know, there's billions of us here on this earth. We have this one earth that we all occupy, but there's billions of different worlds on this earth. And that's because each of us, from our own perspective, even though Frank and I are sitting in this exact same room, we are both experiencing this moment from a very different perspective based on what needs to be done today, what happened yesterday, all of these different ideas, you know.
We can have a complete understanding that this is a desk, we got a bookshelf behind us.
Yes.
And we could identify with it, but how Mike experienced the bookshelf and the desk is going to be different than me.
And it's going to align with whatever my mental narrative is.
That's it, yeah.
And that's what we're trying to bring your attention to is your mental narratives are what you're experiencing.
Because when I sit behind the desk, I start to sweat. It reminds me when I was in school.
Then you wouldn't like this.
And the fact that the bookshelf's behind me, I don't have to look at a book, I feel safe.
There we go.
Let's listen to the clip before I get any more ridiculous.
Then they can admit and observe that the energies of everything else is just what's happening in your head. You know, everything else is just, your world is in your head. You know, the world is not an objective field that you observe, actually. The world is sort of the stuff in your head. Is what the herbs and spices of our projections. That we project that onto the basic elemental world and flavor it according to your conditioning and desire, and then, you know, assume that that world is real. So that's why I say there's only one earth, but there are billions of worlds, because in each one, what I mean by world is the unique way in which you perceive things. Like we're sitting in this place, you can say this, in this field of so many different things, trees and hills and sky and people and earth and everything like that. But the inner response to them might be different. Personal conditioning may tend to, because of its own style of the way it works, be drawn to certain kind of things. And that becomes, you know, that's your experience today. It might be very different from someone else sitting right next to them. And so the point of that is that the world is not something that we all agree upon. Yeah. Or that tree is there, yes, it's tree is there, whatever. But it's the emotional content, the way that we respond to them, that shapes your take on the world. Nobody has captured the world. You know, you only can project and imagine something over it, what we call a world. So earth and world is a different thing for me. Earth is one thing. World is more of a psychological, emotional, personal play.
All right.
Powerful.
Yeah, it was powerful.
Well, so I just want to bring this line up. The world is not something we all agree on. And I think this is really powerful because this is what the media constantly positions us to fight about. Okay, we've got the far right, the far left, all these different concepts, and we're taught to think that there's only one truth, one reality in this experience, you know, and we're pinned against each other saying, you know, this is right because of this reason. We stand on our moral soapbox and we preach about why this is the only way to view it this way. And both sides do this. And it's the funniest thing when this clicks for you, because you see there is no one way to experience it. And in fact, you know, we're each experiencing this reality in our own way. And so to say that the world has to be something that we all must agree upon, that, you know, this is how the society must work, and here's our facts, here's the science, it's foolishness, and we run in these weird circles.
Yeah, and throughout time, the people that seem to live the happiest and greatest life, again, we can only project on how we see them. They had the ability, a great ability, to perceive everything at the same time, but they did have preference. Like, in other words, me and Mike, we live in Phoenix. We're also well aware of another state, you know, Arizona's the state, but another state called Alaska, we're aware of it, but we don't live there. So we live in a different environment as far as how much sun we get, the heat and everything else. The temperature is different. But I don't condemn and say everyone should live in Phoenix. Matter of fact, I'm trying to get people out of here.
We're getting too many damn people here.
Too many people. But when we start to try to say this is the best place to live, what happens is now I have to condemn, if we just take it into the understanding of this country. So this Arizona is the best state to live. And if I feel this way, I drive around my flag, and then I have to condemn all other 59 states. And that takes up the bulk of my life of actually enjoying Arizona as a state. But when I actually open up to all my perspectives, I'm like, okay, I'm here. I prefer here at the moment. But if I end up in Alaska ice fishing in the middle of winter or whenever, I'm okay with that. But allowing this multitude of perspectives, know that I can go back to Phoenix anytime I want if I choose to. But if you choose a perspective and say this, it eliminates any other thing coming in. And that's what it is humans were built with the innate ability to perceive at any moment what's in the world we're living in, to shift in their preferential way.